Identify team alignment on project terminology and build consensus. There are times where, for example, one of the things I might have done is asked how we're going to define innovative, right? Everybody in this room in our little exercise here might have had a different definition for innovative. What I might have done was to ensure my project team was aligned. I might have said, how are we going to all define innovation for this particular project that we're working on? I could have given you 3 examples that were acceptable as the leader. These 3 are acceptable, but I want you to pick which one makes the most sense for this project. Now we're all aligned, right? We all have the same definition of the word we're going to evaluate on. Finally, thoroughly evaluate solutions against multiple criterion and document results in a timely manner, which we just saw us do through the use of the ranking wizard. Okay? So, in wrapping up, if I could just tell you the last bullet item that was on the main agenda was how my life could have been different. I think that is just, if you think about applications for an audience response system or any kind of formal data collection, all of us feel very credible in our field, and we all get called to the table to deliver an opinion, right? But sometimes your expert opinion needs a little bit of backing from a larger population. And sometimes that larger population can really help a cause that you firmly believe in, because they want, and then your customer, your client, your students, the faculty that you represent end up achieving their objective as a whole because you have the data to help you move forward. And I really believe that while I feel like I've had a very successful career in business consulting and marketing, I would have loved to have had a tool like this in so many projects that I led, which were key decisions that corporations had to make, where somebody, said, well, how does the rest of the world feel about this decision, the world that we live in, right? And I'm sorry, I just didn't have time to gather all that information. And I really think that this could have propelled a lot of projects that I know I was not to achieve this high, but to achieve that high. I mean, really over the top. So I'd encourage you to be brainstorming with your team. If you have access to something like this on campus, bring it in and play with it at a particular decision-making meeting, and see what the power of getting all that data organized quickly does for you in your projects that you're working on. So, any questions? Yes, sir.
I was going to say, I've used it in a faculty department meeting.
Okay.
Where we were considering 2 or 3 different candidates for a position, a new hire. And rather than going off what other people were thinking, we voted, and then we voted.
Yeah, very good. Yes.
If you have an election where you need to pick, here's 5 candidates, you need to pick 3, does TurningPoint allow you to do that?
Sure. Yep. As a matter of fact, we're going to go downstairs to the panel discussion. And instead of spending our time talking about any 5 attributes of the discussion, we're going to have the audience pick the top 3 subjects we want you to have the panel focus on.
Each person can vote on 3 things?
3 things. I can limit it to 2, 3, 4, whatever I want.
And where is that hidden on the toolbar? You can just tell me.
Go into the toolbar under eyeglasses and click on slides, and go down the slide. Go down, and you can just use your cursor and go through each one. On the blue bar at the bottom, as you cursor from one functionality to the next, the description of what it does will change, and it'll pop up and it'll say, allow multiple responses per slide. Okay? So you could actually say, pick the top 3 candidates, pick the top 3 attributes, pick the top 5, rank them 1, 2, and 3. Is that good?
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else? All right. We'll see you all downstairs at the panel discussion. Thank you very much.
Yeah.